So in this video here, I want to answer the question, how long is it going to take you to start making money from your trading? And whilst this is going to differ for everyone, because everybody's individual and there are various different aspects of their lives, it's going to affect the time that it takes them to get to eventual success. There are a few stages that you have to go through. So in this video right here, I want to talk to you about what those stages are so that you have a little bit of a measuring stick to figure out where you are in your trading. And also then you understand where you need to go and what sort of obstacles it is that you need to overcome to be able to be successful and make money from your trading. But before we get into it, please make sure that you have subscribed to my channel. So if you haven't done so, click that little red button below here, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to stay up to date with all of the notifications so that you are notified as and when I release a video. Okay, so let's talk about how long is it going to take you to make money from your trading, because that's a question that we all want the answer to, right? Well, as I said at the beginning, there are various different stages that you're going to need to go through to get to a point where you are a successful trader, okay? And I define a successful trader as somebody who can consistently generate an income from the markets. However big or small that is, they can consistently generate profits. And I'm not talking about every single trade, because the reality is that you're not going to make money on every single trade. But I'm talking about, on a longer term basis, on a larger sample size full of trades or bets or whatever, you come out ahead of the game, okay? Now, there are three stages to this, and there are three sorts of primary obstacles that you're going to need to overcome to be able to be a successful trader. The first one is the mechanics. So how long is it going to take you to learn a strategy? And the reality is that learning a strategy is something that you could do in a weekend. This is going to be the shortest part of your learning curve, all right? Once you decide on a particular type of trading, all right? So if you're trading the sports markets, you decide on the football markets, for example. Maybe you want to decide on a particular suite of strategies, completely up to you. But learning the strategies themselves, that's going to take you, a short amount of time. So maybe a weekend, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, but just to kind of understand the mechanics of how the strategy works, how you want to get into and out of your trades, and how to go about identifying the opportunities, because that's a big one, right? Like the strategy is only so much of it. You still need to be able to identify the right opportunities to apply the strategy to. And once you've got that, then you've kind of got the foundations of a good trading plan and a good trading business. And that, as I said, is going to take you maybe 1 to 2 weeks. Some it may take a little bit longer. It doesn't matter if it takes you 3 or 4 weeks. That's no problem whatsoever. But that particular part is probably the shortest part of your journey. Then it comes to the live market. So actually being able to execute things and execute trades and manage trades in a live market. Because from a theoretical perspective, everything's easy. When you then get to the live markets and you have to make decisions, sort of like the snap of a finger or something like that, it becomes a little bit more difficult because you have to think a lot quicker. And also you've got the added bonus, or not bonus rather, but you've got the added issue of having to put money on the line. So you've got to think quickly, and you've got, that the way that you think is going to impact whether you're going to make money or not. And that part is going to take you a little bit longer. So to be able to get to a point where you're not necessarily, you're not making loads of money, but you're not losing loads of money. You're just sort of getting to a point where you're proficient in executing the strategy in the live markets. That's going to take you, I would say that again is something that's more mechanical, I'd like to say, in nature. And that again will take you a couple of weeks to be able to get there, right? So learning the strategy from a theoretical perspective, then putting it into action in the live market. So understanding what sort of games you should be looking for, making a couple of mistakes here and there from a game selection perspective, from an execution perspective, that's going to take you another couple of weeks. So what are we? We're like 2 to 4, maybe 6 weeks into your journey right now in terms of getting to a point where you can trade consistently. Now, this last part, this is the part that is really difficult to define, because for everybody it's going to be very, very different. And that is learning to trade or treat your trading as a business. And what I mean by that is understanding that every time you sit down to your screen, it does not mean that you are going to make money. Okay? Yes, you know, God willing, the best will in the world, we'd love to be able to sit down at our screens and be able to make money every trade that we take. But that's not the reality. And people out there will be like, okay, that's fine. So I'm not going to make money every trade. I understand that. Maybe, I've got a strike rate of 60, 70%. So if I take 10 trades in a day, then at least I'll be a little bit up. 10 trades, 70% strike rate, 7 trades making me money, 3 trades lose me money. At least I've made a little bit of money there. No. It doesn't work like that, right? So the way that trading works, and one of the biggest issues is that we have no way of knowing the exact distribution of wins to losses. So when you're trading as a business, every time we sit down to the screen, we have to understand that we could walk away making no money whatsoever, losing money, or making a return. There are 3 possibilities there. All right, but none of it is guaranteed. And the problem is that us as human beings, we're used to the fact that the more time we spend on something, the more reward that we're going to get, the more benefit we're going to get. And with trading, it's not really like that. I could sit down at my screen and I could trade for an hour, right? And I could make a few percent in an hour. And then I could keep trading for the next 6 hours and I could, slowly but surely give all of that back. Now, I'm not saying give all of that back by making bad trading decisions or doing stupid things. Just give all of that back because that's the way the markets work. We have no way of knowing that, is the first hour going to be profitable? Is 6 hours going to be profitable? Or the first 2 hours not going to be profitable, but am I going to make it back at the end of the day? We can't think like that as traders. What we have to do as traders is that we have to get to a point where we're just sitting down to trade the markets. The outcome of that particular trading session is irrelevant because, one trading session to the next is really going to be quite random. It's over a larger sample size full of trading sessions and trades that really you're going to start to see your odds play out and you're going to start to see that, you can make money. If it was as easy as everybody just learning a strategy, sitting down to their trading screen, controlling their emotions a little bit and, taking a few trades and they make money, then everybody would be doing it, okay? And everybody's not doing it. And that's because that part is difficult. Mechanics, easy. Executing in the live markets, also easy, really. But when it comes to the trading business, that's the most difficult part of it. And that's the part that really we can't quantify how long it's going to take because every individual is going to be different. How long it takes, Bob to learn to do it and how long it takes Tina is going to be completely different because everybody's, genetic makeup, our psychological makeup is different from one another. But there are things that you can do to make sure that you do eventually get there and you are successful. And the main thing that you can do is really kind of dedicate yourself to this, to say that you're going to give yourself, 3 months or 6 months, for example, to really get to a point where you can make a decision whether you want to continue or not. I'm not saying that you're going to, at the end of 6 months, you just pack everything in if it's not working and, move on. No, 6 months, you just kind of sit there and you analyze where you're at and you decide whether it is something for you or whether it's not. And, it's not going to be for everyone, understanding that you could put in 8 hours of work and walk away with nothing or walk away down is actually too hard to take for some people. Okay, so to kind of like bring this back full circle, how long is it going to take? Well, the mechanics is easy. I truly believe that everybody can learn the mechanics to trading the markets, whether it be the football markets, the Forex markets, or whatever. Execution, I believe that everybody can do that as well. Psychology, mentally, the emotional side of things, that's something that is going to be down to the individual. And some people, it may take a month. Some people can just like pick it up and do it immediately. And some people, it might take 3 months, 6 months, a year. You never know. There's stories. I mean, Marty Schwartz, one of my favorite traders out there, it took him 10 years to get to a point where he was successful. And after those 10 years, though, he was ridiculously successful. And he's now gone down as one of the Wall Street's all-time greats. Okay, so there's hope for all of you out there. Whether you've been doing this for a week, a month, or 10 years, you can do this. You just need to understand what it is that you need to work on. Don't sit there and strategy hop. Don't sit there and think something's not working. It's the strategy. Let me look for something else. Okay, understand that more often than not, it's you. Work on you, and I promise you, you will be able to be successful trading. But just understand that it's not as easy as sitting down, clicking a few buttons, and making money. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video here. If you haven't subscribed, if you didn't listen to me at the beginning of the video, listen to me now. Click that button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next video.